My biggest takeaway is just these little tidbits that you get from just being, like, having an unstoppable mentality. Because a lot of it, you know, it's repetitive stuff, but as long as you keep learning, you're always going to be finding new things that jump out at you.
Being reminded of all the ins and outs of how to do this, right? Like the nodding of the head, right? When you're talking to people. My biggest takeaway so far is, I don't know, man, it's nice being around like-minded people that want the same exact thing I do, right? Door-to-door is the most positive environment you'll ever have. And if you've never been here before, you're missing out.
I was a speaker this year, and just the openness that people were showing up with and willing to learn and come from a place of humbleness and take away the nuggets, not come from a place of ego. Because all of us have this huge ego that we show up with, and the guys that have showed up here today that came willing to listen to these speeches, that was actually the biggest thing that I took away, was the fact that guys came here, were willing to learn, and now I'm making tons of friends that I never thought I would have.
You're never too good for anything, you know, to continue to grow. And my takeaway is there's so many things that we can take from everyone, and you don't have to be too good for this.
Not relying on outside forces to be productive, but more relying inside on myself.
A lot more administration and organization stuff this year. I really focused on trying to take the energy that was last year and make a process out of it this year, and that's been my main focus. And I think that I'm going to be able to go back and put a bunch of stuff together that's really just going to capitalize on all of it and take what we doubled on last year and double that again this year.
There's so much knowledge to grab from these people, but the main thing is building the relationships with people in all the different industries and you know, learning what they do. But the biggest thing is just how to have your positive mindset and be excited about what you do in an industry that's tough to do that.
You know, there's been a lot. There's been a few different speakers that have really spoke to me. The first one that I can remember that's top of mind was Ty Bennett, when he talked about the power of storytelling. And he talked about going from struggle to solution. And the solution's not like positional, it's directional. And really just kind of put things into perspective of me, for me, that sometimes, like, in order for us to actually do something, we have to recognize the struggle and what's there, and we have to have a desire to get somewhere else. He also talked about the power of, like, literally telling a powerful story. And I think that there's so often we really just, like, deliver messages to people instead of reliving messages. And I think, you know, there was a lot of principles, but that was one that spoke to me. And you know, going to speak, that was powerful and helped me to speak a lot more powerfully.
I've just been amazed at how many resources are out there that I didn't know about within our industry. I feel like so many times we're all trying to create our own systems and methods, but coming here, it's been amazing to see how many resources are really available that we can implement within our company.
So I go to a lot of these conferences. This isn't the first rodeo. I've seen quite a few of them, and most of them are very either like professional level, you know, focused, really sterile kind of conferences, or they're very greed-oriented, ego-driven type conferences. This is the first one where I met a bunch of people that were all on the same page to grow each other, to uplift each other in a positive attitude, which to me was pretty amazing. There's no doubt I'm going to be here again next year with a bigger, badder, better booth, and I want to support this thing and see what it can be in the end.
Biggest takeaway is just leaving wanting to do better. Like, no ceilings, you know, set the bar higher, set your goals higher, and there's no excuses. Get rid of the excuses.
There's honestly a lot that I could take away. What I've been doing when the speakers talk is I take little video recording, or not video recording, voice recording, and I take notes as I go. There's not many people that can say that they've been to D2DCon and heard Jordan Belfort talk and Sam Taggart, but I think that's kind of the biggest takeaway, is the fact that we get to listen to all these people and gain their knowledge and their experiences and apply it to our own lives.
Honestly, I feel more motivated than after I read 10X by Grant Cardone right now. I'm just ready to go out and knock. So I came here for, you know, just basically learning about sales, and it ended up being more about, you know, developing myself as a person and giving back to a lot of people, and not just focusing everything on yourself, but, you know, just a bigger picture than that, and everything else will follow in life.
I've learned tons of stuff from this. I wouldn't be able to narrow it down to like one thing. I think I have like 3 pages of notes of just like awesome content. So like there was breakouts that talked about like real estate. Love that. Like I'm not all about just knocking doors. Like I want to get into real estate. I want to do these things. I love how that was provided.
I think a lot about mindset. There's a lot of people here who just kill it, and I think it's because they think a lot bigger than everybody else in the world. And I think that there's a lot of people who have success and they have like their little niches that they've had success with, but they put themselves out there and they've done hard things and they don't run away from them, they run towards them. So